Welcome to our retire early lifestyle in the great USA, where we're fixing up an old cheap house without a pile of cash. If we can do it, anyone can do it.
There's so much information out there about how much difficulty people are having with the cost of housing and just the cost of living. I like to focus on doing things on a budget, and that surprise right there on the roof, it's just it's just an example of when you're doing things on a shoestring, you always are going to have surprises. Things, you know, there's a saying that I learned a long time ago when I was a young man, when I started out in business: your plans will always cost more than you originally planned, and they'll always take longer. And boy, is that true. This isn't a business, but it kind of is. It's the business of your life, and my life, your life. And you know, I also want to encourage people that are older, and because like we're retirement age now, and we're doing this, and yeah, we're just doing it again, just as far as our effort goes, it's also on a shoestring. We don't want to push ourselves too much, because you know, then we won't be able, you know, we want to be able to get out of bed. So but this surprise here, I'll show you, and you have to be real careful on roofs because you don't want to start sliding. I saw a video of a guy that, and it was a young guy, slid all the way down his metal roof. He just slid like a slide, you know, like in the water park, just like that. And so basically you've got two sides here going on where it's leaking in the house on both sides, this side and that side. Now that's been patched before, but it's still leaking. It goes to show those things, that black tar stuff leaks. This here is just nothing but a disaster. And I was going from memory, I didn't realize how big that indentation is. And I'm thinking, okay, I just got that crack filler today. That's why I'm up here. So I had to pull the bisqueam off that we put for temporary patch. And underneath it, there's just a big gooey mess. And I'm thinking, this really needs to be just repaired. You just yank this out and put new wood, put new shingles. But what normally happens, I've got a short story to tell you. Could you just have a minute? I'm just going to tell you a little short story. For those of you that have done some traveling, people used to say, I've watched Americans go abroad for years, and we've sat here and dealt in this space for a dozen years. And so we would see people go back to America and say, well, I'll never be Ecuadorian or this or that. Oh, they just go up to the counter just to buy 3 screws, whatever. And yes, I went up to the hardware store and bought a box of screws, and the Ecuadorian shows up and he buys 2 screws. Well, here's what really grabs me. We're back in America, as you know, came back right after 13 years. And I go to the store and I want 2 roofing nails. Okay, I'll take 4. I'll take 4 roofing nails. You can't buy 4 roofing nails. You have to buy the box. It's not about the money. I've got the $6 or $10, whatever it is. That's not a problem. I'm on a shoestring, but not that much. And so I'm thinking, you know, they have something there, because I can sit here and buy the box, and I've done stuff like that. I used to buy boxes of this and that, and then you end up having a shed full of stuff you don't ever use. And I don't have a shed here, and I don't want one. That's the thing. I don't want a shed here. Start filling with all these things that you just need a little bite out of it, and you just leave all these pies over there in the fridge because you just wanted a bite, and you just want 4 nails, and I just want 4 roofing nails. So I decided to get liquid nails instead, which is less money, and I can probably use it for other projects. So what am I going to do here? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I figured out that's not ready to get patched because it's still wet. I'm going to wait for it to dry and then decide. I'm challenged at wanting to do it because I'm thinking that's going to take, that indent is so huge, it's going to take like almost a whole bucket of patch of roof filler or crack filler. And it's not because it was $30, it's just that, what if it doesn't work? Why wouldn't it work? Because it's so huge and it looks like such a mess. So here's what I'm going to do. This here, this side, I'm just going to go ahead and coat. I'm just going to go ahead and put the roof coat. Oh, by the way, that liquid nails work beautifully. You can see right here that liquid nails right here. These shingles are nice and hardened down here, and that patch over there also worked. In case you want to do that, you just get the liquid nails for $3 and boom, it's the heavy duty one, not the super cheap one for $2. I've learned a long time ago you never want to get the cheapest, so I got one to step up. So I'm going to just coat, and I've been sweeping this all morning because I'm supposed to hose it off. We just got here, we're so bare, you know, it's like we were going to Lowe's every day, spending 60 to 80 bucks every day, and we still don't have everything you need, you know what I'm saying? So I still don't have a hose to hose this thing off. And I get impatient. I don't want to put this off any longer. And I'm not being hasty because I do think that this side is ready. So I think I can do this side and this side. Now there's no leaks here in the house. There's a very small leak right here. Very small leak right there. So I think I'm just going to do this half right here all the way up to this vent. And that'll give me the satisfaction of knowing that I covered that. But in the meantime, I've got to decide what to do about this. I did buy the crack filler, but on second thought, when I come up here and look at it, every time I look at it, I just shake in my head. You know, and that's another thing where, you know, you buy a package of roofing, you're going to use, you know, a couple shingles out of it, or a few shingles, and then you got this whole thing of roofing left over. So that's the challenge, is figuring out how we're going to pull an Ecuadorian while we're in America. How are we going to get 4 screws, or if we get the box of screws or nails, is there something else I can use it on? Quite the dilemma, right? Look at the beautiful view. People talk about the views in Cuenca and all this, and sure, it's beautiful, but how is America not beautiful? This land is just beautiful. Amazing. I'm loving it here. I just am. And I kept telling myself I'm going to clean the neighbor's gutter. I'm just gonna clean it because now look, I kept putting it off and now the leaves are blowing out of her gutter on my work. And that's not dry yet, I just put that on. So now I'm gonna wait for that to dry and then clean her gutter. Should I tell her I'm cleaning her gutter? And I mean, what's easier to do? Just to pack your bags and go somewhere that's a really nice life and cheap, so you can live on your means, or move to a small town and do your own roof? Of course it's easier just to pack your bags and leave. That's why so many people do it. But for those of you that have done it and just isn't your cup of tea, nothing wrong with Cuenca Mountains, but look, I could do this at my own pace. It's shady. I'm under a tree. I could literally sit here for half an hour. I could take a nap if I want to. I mean, I'm just, you know, going a little overboard, but I could sit here as long as I want and enjoy the scenery. I saw a hawk earlier. I don't see him now, but I'm going to get this done, and I'm just going to do it until I don't feel like doing it. You know, you want to pace yourself financially, because when you get into a house like this, you could have $6,000 worth of work that it needs right away. And if you start just plowing into a project without pacing yourself, you could be out $1,000 or $2,000, and maybe you don't, you know, maybe that's not in the budget. You know, so you got to pace yourself and do a little bit, you know, and that's why I'm just doing this side of the roof for now, because I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with that side. So I bought 2 buckets, plus I bought the crack filler and miscellaneous paint stuff, so that we're at about $200. To me, $200 is fine in order to put off having to do the entire roof yet. I'm not ready for that.
The roof is a priority right now, but when Frank isn't working on the roof, we both get out into the yard. that is very overgrown with all kinds of debris, useless brush, weeds, and overgrown trees. And unfortunately, the roof work had to be put on hold because Frank got a bad case of poison ivy or poison oak, both of which are growing endlessly in the yard, so we've been dealing with that. As you might expect, with Frank out of commission while he is dealing with this itchy and very painful case of poison ivy, the roof has been put on hold once again, but that's okay. We're not in a hurry. All right, everyone.
All right, thanks and have a wonderful day.